Okay, today we're going to finish off presumably the first day of the trial, maybe do a bit of the second day of investigation, find out what the case is really about. Because it's starting off kind of like the stolen turnabout, where it's like, oh, it's just a theft, and then it turns into something bigger, which that was one of my favorite cases, one of the best cases, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. But there's no way this is the entirety of it. So this is like his second testimony, so we'll get to that in a minute, but I just want to review a few things like what do I really think is coming up as far as the rest of the story. So they keep mentioning benefactor, kind of like how they mentioned phantom in Dual Destiny. So that's kind of like their new technique, or even mastermind in investigations too. So that's kind of like the key word for the final villain or the final boss. So it could turn out to be Inga. That wouldn't be bad. It would be kind of a bit too obvious, but still taking him down would be probably pretty difficult. It could also turn out to be the queen, or the queen is conspiring something. That wouldn't be a stretch. And so either of those would work. I would prefer it if the queen was involved. So it could be like a Callisto U fake out where like Inga comes first and then the queen later. You find out that the queen is actually behind it all. And one thing I didn't understand was the Garan regime thing. They keep calling it that GA, some kind of tilde, or whatever you want to call that. And then it's RAN, Garan regime. But their names are not Garan, so I don't know what that really means. Like Rafa's name is Rafa Padme Karain. So is it that there like a ton of princesses? I thought she was like the main one or one of the main ones. So her name should be the same as the regime or the country name, but whatever. I mean, it literally is the country's name, but that's not how it works, you know. But whatever. So there's a bit of confusion there. Why isn't her last name Garan? And what else do we have? The Lady Kira thing is going to be important here because maybe I'm looking at it too much from a real world perspective, but the whole idea is Phoenix caused that country so much trouble and made them look so bad. He would be an ideal target for someone like Lady Kira. So it's lucky for Phoenix that either he caught or it turned out that it was actually the victim in case 3, which was disappointing. We didn't get to see the breakdown. That's one of the only times in the entire series where we don't face off against the killer villain on the stand, which was the wife. No testimony, no breakdown. So that in itself is disappointing. And we further don't get to actually take down the Lady Kira figure, who was the victim, Zealot. So we're deprived of both of those. No breakdown, no nothing. And Lady Kira, it was kind of the right hand of this benefactor, if it is Inga. So it's important. So like we've kind of weakened him. It's important to get rid of that layer of protection first, because he could have easily sent Lady Kira to kill Phoenix. And that's ideally what it's for. And then the government can just shrug their shoulders and say, we don't know what happened, we can't catch him, her. So that's kind of a real world application of it, is that it was important to either catch him, put him behind bars, or in this case, just reveal what happened and find out he's dead already. Not that they couldn't have other secret police, but I feel like that's how the story is portraying it. Like that's why it's important before the end game to have taken care of that. So those two cases tie together nicely, and case 1 ties together with the whole orb being stolen and everything like that. I guess we'll find out more about that. Cases 2 and 4 are just filler, which is fine. Case 4 was really the bad one. Just completely unnecessary. It should have tied into this a bit more. Could have easily set the stage for case 5, and then case 5 wouldn't have needed to start out so slow with the whole father-son Dirk Apollo thing. And then what else? So yeah, the new buzzword is benefactor. So that's going to be the final villain, the mastermind, the phantom, and the benefactor. I kind of like the mastermind the best, but it just as far as the namesake. The phantom was very good, and hopefully this turns out to be good too. They've kind of put too much weight on this case though. If case 4 was a little better, if case 3's ending was a little better, it wouldn't need to be as good. It's going to have to be great. I like this trial part. Phoenix versus Apollo. This is a cool idea. Although kind of predictable. You know it's not going to end in any real conflict. It's like with the Phoenix Edgeworth thing. You know they're going to work together and reach a common goal. And perhaps Phoenix is doing an angle too there where he's sort of playing the royalty against each other by defending this guy, Addison. He must have an angle. So he's trying to gain favor with them so he can go up against the royalty a little better. Or maybe he's just trying to figure out more about this situation. But you think he's on the right side of it. Somehow Apollo's going to be in the wrong, or they're both going to be right, or they're both going to be wrong. I don't really see how this is going to go. We're trying to prove that the orb is what we're after, like, is what he had. He keeps calling it the Crystal of Amife. So if we prove it's the orb, we prove it belongs to Karain. So Dirk can take it back. And if it's the Crystal of Amife, apparently he gets to keep it. That's his family heritage, even though it should be probably the Fae family heritage. To give it to Maya either way, but... So from last time, we only really did a little bit in court. Emma and then this guy. Oh yeah, that's one problem I've had is some of these witnesses go on too long. Like in case 3, the Trusted Me guy went on for the entire second day of trial pretty much. Right. What did we do before that? I think we saw Emma briefly, the seance, and then that guy just went on for the entire rest of the case. We didn't see the wife. They should have mixed it up by doing that. Even 1 or 2 short testimonies with the wife to finish it off. Or in the middle. That guy went on way too long, so he wasn't even that bad of a character, but by the end it's like, that's not good pacing. That's kind of unusual. Especially for a character like that. He wasn't even the culprit. He just killed himself, so that didn't even matter that much. And then case 4 had the same problem. It wasn't the culprit either. It was the guy before with all the personalities, Owen and stuff. What's his name? Uendo. He went on way too long as well. Before the final culprit came out. So yeah, the pacing is a little bit off with how far they pushed some of these witnesses. You shouldn't go on and on and on with the same one for like 5 testimonies, unless it's like the final villain, and even then, like Damon Gant, you only do like 2 testimonies with him, I think. Unless it's Alba, who we all know is my favorite, but still. Even then, I criticize the pacing of the case. Even though he's great, they do put too much on him. And the one bit of logic I took issue with was this. The paw thing, it's his initials and his birthday. I think it's one of those intrinsic criticisms. It's like, you don't want it to be that easy or that stupid. Or he's that dumb that he just put his actual initials and his birthday in the email. Like, couldn't Emma and the police have figured that out? They couldn't get in the computer, which is dumb. Couldn't anybody else have figured that out? That's like too easy. So I didn't even think that way because I didn't want it to be that obvious. You want it to be, more than what it is. So you could say, oh, you're just dumb, you couldn't figure it out, which is fair. But man, that's just pathetic. For the final case in the 6th game of the series, this is the kind of logic we're at. He just puts his initials and his birthday in the email name. He doesn't think to use a proxy, a fake name, something like an alias, nothing like that. That is so stupid. So sometimes you want the logic to be better than what it is. My ancestor was praised as a benevolent ruler. He protected the spirit mediums, a minority back then, from the rest of the locals. Some discriminated against him, you see. Oh, and we hear that final testimony music so infrequently. Like maybe once or twice a case, that's it. So I don't think we're going to hear it here for a while. My ancestor was praised as a benevolent ruler. Aren't they a minority now, too? I guess. Apparently nobody can actually do it except for the Queen and Maya and Pearl. We don't even know anybody else who can do it. Some discriminating against them, you see, while others tried to abuse their power. As thanks, Amife gave the crystal she had specially made as a gift to him. I mean, I guess we can assume this is true. I'm a descendant of that great lord. My influence is backed by centuries of history. That might be true, but that doesn't mean you're right in this case. It might not even be, well, it might be exaggerated. I guess we don't debate that. We just debate that this is the crystal. Yeah, or that it was ever at that mansion. In his house. Someone who gave a statement to that effect. A neighbor, Shinito, age 85. Look at Phoenix doing his legwork like usual. This is nice. Just imagine, this is Phoenix as prosecutor. This is how prepared he'd be. The Addisons showed me the crystal back when I was but a lad. That doesn't mean it belonged to them. By that I don't mind, but... He's playing against the judge's memory. He might not be 85 though. But the memories of my past are clear as day. Well, that's kind of injecting your personal bias into it openly. That's kind of dirty though. He could just say try to disprove his memory, instead of casting doubt on him for being old. Alright, whatever. Oh, I gotta remove my thing. The illustrious history of the Addison clan. I hate that H. I keep trying to say Addison or something. My ancestor was praised as a benevolent ruler. He protected the mediums, a minority. You say back then like they aren't anymore. Discriminated, tried to abuse their power. This is the only really important statement. Amife gave the orb. All this is just self-praise, as Apollo said, propaganda. None of this really has to do with the case. Like, we can't dispute this. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Praised by who? Just ask that. Who are you referring to when you say praised? Who praised them? Or you could ask, what did they do exactly? Who or what? The object. The little pedestal thing? Name placard. Oh, that's why it said something different behind it. He had it custom made during his political career. Abe, oh, I get it. Crafted from the finest Italian plastic. Couldn't you get a better one? Looks pretty worn. You'd think someone as vain as this guy would get a new fancy one. He does have some sentimental attachment to his history. He's not just doing it for power, apparently. He was also an eminent politician. I mean, this you could contradict. There's still a minority now. I guess you could ask about what time period was this, or protected them how? How did he protect them? Relationship was close with my entire electorate. Alright. It's the same thing to you, right? That's what you want. He just used that to plug himself. Not only dodging, but using it as an opportunity to repeat his slogans. You gotta ask better questions. Blame yourself, Apollo. Yeah, we get it. Protected them from who, though, and how? Some discriminate against them. Can you give us an example of each of those? You could ask, or discriminated against them how? And again, how did he protect them? Just using his political influence? You don't have to ask it like that. Ask like what kind? Like monsters. How many were there too? Is that why there's so few now? They were like all purged or something? Weird like that? Same experience frightened the locals. There were those who tried to use them. For money or power. Okay, dude. Logan Andy here. Just repeating the same slogans. Like he's always campaigning. Exactly, not a very good one either. I kind of like how blatant he is about it. He has no shame. At least if you're gonna do it without any reservation. He's not like unsure of himself. Amife gave the crystal to him as a gift. Looks like the same one. I don't see any visual discrepancy. She had it made. Oh wait, what was I gonna ask anyway? Certainly not that. Thanks for what? I guess the general thing. But you could ask like... Yeah, do you know how she made it or where she made it? Or even as thanks for what specifically? Was there something specific he did or just his general help over the years? He made it in Japan. Famous craftsman. It's quite valuable. Doesn't that take away from the power and mythology of it? If it's just a man-made object, it wouldn't have any spiritual power in it. I guess from her. Give it to your patron. Now we're calling him patron. Ignorant common type. Yeah, true. But he's not even a politician yet. It's a testament to my remarkable achievements. You may as well put it to use. I can respect that. Descendant of the great lord. Can you prove that? Do you have a birth certificate? Now he's gonna turn out later in the case. We'll find out. Oh, he's just pretending. He's not actually him. But we can't ask that now. Really, I would just ask that. Can you prove that relation? Since you're so insistent on it. Or like ask, what about your father? Did he do anything? Because he keeps saying grandfather. Show me your birth certificate. Are you famous? I guess that's a good question. I couldn't come up with anything good there. Are you famous? Bemusing. They don't really like you, you're more infamous. Keep going missing. Like people want them all to themselves. I'm sure that's what's happening. It's like he just won't take criticism. He turns it into praise somehow. My political power and influence is backed by centuries of history. So it was in Kurain village, or was it in the country of Kurain? I keep mixing those up. Was your grandfather the first one to have a political career? Nope. You probably shouldn't have been asking anything about it. That's kind of your fault, Apollo. Why would you press something? Which I did, I know, but he's pressing it and then he's asking, is it relevant? If it's not relevant, then don't press it. Kingcraft. Sounds like a game. Your father. So what did your father do? So we know about your grandfather. Ruin awaits if you respond to every single issue posed by the masses. That's actually fair advice. King of this nation. The Holy Mother? Apparently. Which is odd. Because that country won't even acknowledge her. She had the crystal made for his ancestor. Made in Japan. Does that contradict something? It's got to be this statement. I just don't know what about it. None of the other ones even relate to anything. These are all just him fluffing himself. So what proves that it wasn't made in Japan? It even shows you the image. So it says it's Kurain's national treasure, but it still could have been made in Japan, like the Statue of Liberty. It's made by French, but it was given to the US. I guess it doesn't prove anything inherently. I don't see anything here. I could try the orb itself. Does this say anything about it? No. Let me try it. It says Kurain. Shit. It says Kurain's national treasure, and it's showing the picture in the background. It's not like we're talking about something different. I guess he's just calling it the crystal of Amife. We've already read this one. I do kind of want to see what happens when you lose, but we'll probably find that out the hard way anyway. Should probably save it, I guess. But you can just continue even once you fail, and then it just resets your health. You don't even lose any progress. She gave the crystal she had specially made. So it's not that. Is it something to do with this? Doesn't that disprove it's a holy item? Because it was just handmade by a random person. By a skilled craftsman maybe, but she housed her power in it or something. Objection! Oh, so I was right. Had the crystal made for your ancestor. So why exactly is it right, though? It's the only other thing that really relates to it. Just the fact that it's Kurain, the country that's taking ownership of it. But again, it could still have been made in Japan. Sure, why not? First objection of the day. We're down to like one sliver of help though. One left. How your so-called crystal could have been made there. Why not? Yeah, I agree. I don't get the sun. Oh, it's the... I would have never thought about the reason behind that. And I love people who would say in retrospect, oh yeah, of course it's that. I was just thinking it comes from Korean, so how could it be made in Japan, even though it could be? But ooh, should I save it? Must be that crest. Alright, that's a good reason. But it's made for Korean. It's made for them, so why would that be? It's like you make an American flag. It doesn't have to be made in America. Oh, he's disputing that it even is that symbol. I don't really get it still though. So because it has a symbol from Korean, it had to be made in Korean? This is the box in which the orb was stored. Yeah. Same one as the one found in the orb. So couldn't Ami Faye just be a plagiarist and she copied their symbol? Even though she made it in Japan? The disputed item must have been made in Korean. I don't think that's true. Phoenix could just come back and say, you could make it anywhere. The channeling technique originated in Korean. This itself doesn't make sense because they literally said the Korean channeling technique was founded by Ami Faye, but then they retconned it to say she founded it by bringing it to Japan or America or wherever. So which is it? I've traveled there to train. No, she said, it was said that she invented it. She invented the technique, dude. She's the origin of it. That's incorrect in their own lore. She didn't bring that pattern back with her. Okay, I agree with that though. This is clearly Koreanese. Not even you can deny. Possibility was made there. Okay, but you have to prove it was. It's possible. Anything's possible. Exactly. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to. It's a good objection, but I don't get that line. This Ami Faye thing has triggered me so much, dude, since case 3, before they even mentioned her. Look, I'll show you. Okay, look at this and look at what Phoenix just said. I'm not going to go into anything lower because that might give me spoilers, but this. Ami Faye was the founder of the Faye clan and the inventor of the Korean channeling technique. Inventor of the Korean channeling technique. So what they did earlier is they tried to say the Korean channeling technique is sort of the bastardized version of the original channeling, which came from Korean. So even that was a retcon. The idea that she didn't come up with the channeling to begin with, she simply copied their technique and outsourced it to Japan and America or wherever it's localized. So even if we accept that premise, look at what it says here versus what Phoenix just said. See, originally I think it was meant to be she just invented channeling in general, or at least the major technique that we're talking about in the series. Now they're saying it came from Korean and she stole it from there or adapted it to other countries. Look at this line. She was the inventor of the Korean channeling technique. Now look at this. The Korean channeling technique originated in the Kingdom of Korean. So does that mean Ami Faye originated in the Kingdom of Korean and she invented it there? She traveled there to train. Why would she need to train? She was there and she invented it herself. Just look at that line. I just want this to sink in. Originated in Korean versus she invented it. So something's up. Maybe we'll answer that here somehow, but it seems like a retcon in the purest form. You just as easily say it's Japanese. Ooh, that's a good point too. Good point. I like Phoenix's arguments here. Somehow they seem better than when he's on defense. No basis to claim the item was made in Japan either. We don't know where it was made. Any evidence that proves where it was made. Ooh, this is a tough decision. I don't know if I'll get penalized for it if I get it wrong. Let me look carefully. It's the national treasure. And if I could, then why couldn't I have done it before? Why couldn't I have just proven it before? You could say it's just the fact that the song is made in its image. It should have existed before. If I said something, it would be the book again. Oops. Just to show that song, but we've already shown that. You wouldn't think Phoenix would miss something like that. I'm gonna say no. Doesn't seem to be anything we can do. Can't we go down a different path? Give us more testimony? Seems like he's breaking his placard. The famous different angle technique founded by Mia Fey. The same way that Phoenix always steals Mia's quotes in this game without giving her credit, it's like the game itself is trying to steal the Kurain channeling technique from Ami Fey. It's hers, dude. She made it. What if Fine Dragons were authorized to take possession of the relic? Yeah, and that's in there too, so that's odd that the judge doesn't pick up on literally a rebel group is involved in this case. Shouldn't we be worried about that? Arrest the rebels. Extradite Dirk and get him executed. I agree to hand over the orb to the dragons. It's written under duress. So now you're admitting it is the same object. Couldn't you have said that at the very beginning when he first presented it? Cave expedition. You investigated the accident, so it was actually a murder, which we suspected all along. Something you overlooked. Shouldn't we blame Emma for that? Because she is the one who said it was an accident? Of course, the police can never do their job. Phoenix always has to do it for them, huh? Same old Phoenix. By the Defiant Dragons. I don't know about that, but he was probably murdered. For a sec. We're in court, Phoenix. Books that came tumbling down were from the archaeology shelf. However, among that was a single volume on psychology. There was some blood on it and some coffee on it. Athena did it, or Blackwell did it. From the top shelf archaeology books. So where are the psychology books? Doctor's books were meticulously organized by subjects. They couldn't have just misplaced one of them. Took up the entire shelf, so that psychology book is completely out of place. So where were they supposed to be? This is like the Edgeworth case where the first case in Investigations 1, where we had to deal with the books falling down. It's also worth noting that books only take up a tiny portion of the bottom shelf. Why would a psychology book found amid the pile of books be found amid the pile of books? I believe I can explain what it was doing there. The doctor was struck from behind while reading a book from the shelf, or selecting a book. That makes sense, I suppose. But what made the books fall? He was struck with the book? Or no, he probably just fell into it. But then how would you explain the falling books? He was buried under a mountain of books, so they would have to go all the way up there and throw those on top of him? And isn't it in some kind of record that he died from the fall, not from a blunt force object? There's no way they'd categorize those as the same thing. Do you have proof it was murder? Probably something we haven't seen yet. So it's her fault for not telling us. Updated autopsy report. Phoenix is doing his most hated technique that Edward did in his first case against him. On a hunch, I had them run an extra autopsy, and we found out it was actually a murder. He'd been struck on the corner by an object or another. By the corner of an object. But what did it say before? Didn't he die from fall damage or from a fall? That's so dirty. Of course, Emma wouldn't tell us that. Well, then why were we told it was an accident? Incompetent detective work, like usual, that's what it means. Okay. Not a surprise at all, really, but... Athena. Phoenix did it all on his own. Haha. That still doesn't change anything. You have to prove who did it then. Oh, because he felt threatened by them. It must be Dad's R-ball he's accusing? How could we? Didn't think I'd come to court without witnesses and evidence. Do you have another witness to call that we haven't met yet? Oh, from the plaintiff. Hear how he saw one of the rebels leaving the crime scene. Now, Phoenix is being sly here. I don't know if he really thinks they did it. He's just trying to get to a certain point. He's doing this just to push it forward. The same way that Edgeworth does with us. I guess he already said it's null and void, which I said at the beginning that it's under duress. And the judge read it too, but he didn't say anything at the time. He's just doing the right thing to push the trial forward. If he's right, he's right. Yet to identify the murder weapon. Good, put the onus on him. Was not located at the scene of the crime. It wasn't one of the artifacts. Dispose of it elsewhere. So what was it? Time of death between 10 and 11. Isn't that different too? Because the judge asked for the weapon, he said, oh, he just disposed of it. Meaning we don't know what it was. Think we might get tired of this guy before too long. Charismatic oration forged in the crucible of campaign battle. Even though you've never actually been a politician once. right? He's aspiring to be one, but he still hasn't been one. I don't think. Because he is only 25, looking to represent. That evening, I was walking alone, lost in thought. Passed by the doctor's house, and I saw Arbol. Okay, we know that. He's running out the front door. This guy always caused trouble, that's Arbol. It was around 10 at night. That must have been him fleeing from the scene of the crime. Speculation? Vote for me is a vote to end such violence. That is my promise to you. Good one. Good one. He always finds a way to do that. Saw a possible suspect fleeing from the doctor's residence. It was within the window of the estimated time of death. It could also be the son with the drone. He could use the drone to hit him with something. Or it could be this guy too. Did we see the drone has an arm where he handed Apollo the bat, so he could have used it to pick something up and whack him with it? Or the drone itself could be the murder weapon, I suppose. What in the world were you doing there? Wasn't he trying to get the orb? I thought we already knew that. Saw Dats fleeing the scene the night of the murder. Maybe it wasn't that night, it was like the next day or something. Arbol was loitering around that day, trying to get the orb, which we already knew. He was in the study, and then he got caught by a doghouse somewhere, apparently. The suitcase. What new evidence have we gotten? We updated this. Picture is the same, just the description is different. What else got updated? We got this is new. Buff was struck with the corner of an object. That's between 10 and 11, which seems different than what it was before. It said, I think, much later in the night. Cerebral hemorrhaging after struck on the back of the head with a corner of an unidentified object. Must have been in quite the rush to leave that behind. Perhaps. And he was just in custody, so where is he? In the gallery. Yeah, just do your alley-oop technique. You escape from Karain with no trouble. Maybe these courts really are much better. They even stopped the Phantom from getting away. Imagine that. The super spy himself. Backstabber. He did help you. Yeah, he had a knife at your throat. He could have killed you in his hideout with ease. Counsel/defense may question the plaintiff/witness. Defense doesn't really apply to this situation. Just make sure we save it, although it doesn't really do much. We still haven't gamed over, but this is our last life right here. I do kind of want to see if Phoenix says something. Or will he save us and we'll get an extra life? He'll pull an Edgeworth and save us from guilty. And actually, what will the judge say? I guess we might find out naturally. No, let's just do it just in case, because I don't want to miss out on it. Let's do it on purpose, so this shouldn't count. It's because I am curious to see how Phoenix and the judge react. Will it mention Dance Arbol and the murder, or will it mention that he gets to keep the orb, or what will it say? Take a look at my attorney's badge. See that I'm qualified to be a lawyer. So let's see what happens. Let's see if Phoenix is a sore winner. Will he say something special? See no reason. There is no guilty verdict. Show the right to the item in question. Ownership is awarded to the plaintiff, Paul Addison. That's it. There's no graphic or image or anything. Bad ending. That creep Paul Addison stole the Founder's orb right out of her hand, and Phoenix let it happen. Dream of a revolution, died that day. And Phoenix let that happen? This makes Phoenix look bad. Phoenix, what? As for my relationship with Mr. Right, awkward comes to mind. Let's say it was never really the same. I thought you'd say you quit. It's his fault, though. He didn't mind that happening. Shouldn't he be on the same page as you? And actually, let's load because I want to have 1 HP. I don't want to heal up. That'd be like cheating. Let's try to do it without losing that one last life. So Phoenix just let that happen and made it happen and didn't give a shit about Karain. That's his final revenge on the country for putting him through all that bullshit. That evening, I was walking alone, lost in thought. Does it ask where exactly were you? Or why were you walking alone at night? At that time of night. Okay. Dude, that's such a weak... Why were you... That's such a weak question, isn't it? Why were you taking a walk? You don't need a reason to take a walk. You could at least say, why are you taking a walk alone at night? Or, where were you or why were you there? Society is inundated with serious problems that must be solved. I'm always on the job thinking hard, even on my walks. That still doesn't explain why. I kind of like his answers. They're very non-committal, and they also buff up his whole political aspirations pretty well. While we live out our comfy lives, there's starving children who suffer in back alleys. Okay, yeah. Phoenix, your sarcasm is impressive. You kept a straight face. Phoenix has to really be swallowing his pride. The voting public must be informed of the magnificence that is me. Passed by his house, and that's when I saw Arbol. You could ask exactly what time was it when you saw this happen, so we can conflate that with the time of death, or what did Arbol look like when you saw him? Where exactly were you when you... Okay, that works too. That kind of answers the perspective. Under the tree so you could see through the window. So you knew that window was going to be important. Dashing out of his front door, which is on the bottom? No. What? I thought that was like the guest entrance. But you wouldn't have seen him until he was already on the staircase or outside. You wouldn't have seen him inside. He didn't notice you. It's hidden by the tree. Is it really that important where he saw him? Sure. Just add a new statement. Guess it couldn't hurt us. Under this tree when I saw him. Now, is there something wrong with that? Diagram of the study, bookcase, large window, and second floor area. You would have seen him coming down the staircase. I suppose that's possible. At least Dats didn't lose his memory this time and his great escape. So where's the other entrance? It's at the bottom? I can't even see it on here. They said there was another entrance. So you could have only seen through the window or up the stairs. Feels like there's something here, I just don't know exactly what. So under this tree when I saw Mr. Arbol. So now you could ask, how did he look? Was he carrying anything? Describe his appearance. What were you doing under the tree? It doesn't matter. Lack of lateral thinking as your downfall. If I'm elected, think outside the box. What does that have to do with the question? Pleb. Apollo's a pleb. This guy's like a better version of Wellington. Like, he's actually a little bit smarter and has some stature. Phoenix keeps playing him down. Like, playing into it just so he shuts up. We get it, dude. He was running out the front door. I always blame the lawyer in that situation, though. If you asked a better question, he might answer. He was running out the front door. But he was going downstairs, so that would make it harder to run, I guess. Not that that's really pertinent, but I'm just trying to think of this diagram. What about it doesn't jive with what he's saying? You could only see him coming down the stairs. You might not even be able to see the top from down there. I'm not sure. He was running out the front door. He asked, where did he go after that? Like, what direction did he go? Unusual, like, what was he carrying? Behavior was incredibly suspicious. In what way? Eyes were darting all around as if he'd run off in total panic. So he probably discovered him dead. Don't need you to speculate like that. Didn't report it to the police, and neither did Dad's Arball. Although that I can understand. Who would have thought he killed Buff? But as soon as you found out Buff was dead, you should have said that. I guess you thought it was an accident. Sure. As an upstanding politician, you should have done that. It makes your career look really in jeopardy. So it won't override the other statement, will it? I feel like one of them earlier did that. Where you could only add one statement. Under the tree, ran out the front door. I had no idea that Buff was dead. That's why I didn't call the police. Now, this is the photo easy. Because you can see where he is from that window. So there you go. That's the contradiction easy. But before I do that, let's press these. I had no idea he was dead. Because it at least contradicts the timeline. If you're saying he was killed then, when he ran out, he would have had to have already been in that position, unless you moved him. Or at least then you'll have to argue the sun moved him there. So maybe he was already dead, but he hadn't been moved there yet with the books, so he could be somewhere else. Obviously, I don't think this guy's the killer. That'd be too soon. What would I ask here? As an upstanding politician, shouldn't you have a better relationship with the police? Or shouldn't you still be concerned about a burglary? You should have still, like, why didn't you call the police as far as a break-in or a burglary? It doesn't matter if he's dead or not. Had no idea he was dead. You knew nothing about what happened. At least he's showing humility. Yeah, it doesn't make you look good. My earnest attitude and industrious nature have come back to haunt me. Okay. How all will be from now on, or how they've always been? you don't mind, I'd like to continue with my testimony. For the first time, you seem to always want to ramble on about yourself. It's around 10 at night. Around 10, okay. That must have been him fleeing from the scene of the crime. So he could have been discovering the body. Or maybe he was just chased out of there by the drone. Who knows? But assuming he discovered the body somewhere else, then someone else came later and changed the position under the books. Like maybe the son was trying to check on him and accidentally dropped the books, which means he also isn't the killer. Or maybe he was in the middle of manipulating the scene. He scared off Dats with the little gun on his drone and then manipulated the scene after this guy left, so he wasn't watching the body. That's why he didn't know. See, we have to believe that he really didn't know he was dead. Otherwise, this contradiction makes no sense. Then you say, oh, he did know, he's just lying. It was around 10 at night. Surely that must have been him fleeing the scene of the crime. I mean, logically, if you did know he was dead, you have no basis for that claim. But what would I ask here? Whoa. Surely that must have been him fleeing from the scene of the crime. If he looked suspicious, why didn't he call the police? What if he stole something? You could go down that way. At the time, you thought nothing of it. Now you're saying he's suspicious. It could have been any number of things. You didn't know he was dead. So they're gonna beat this like a dead horse. I've been a prodigy from a young age. High school and college with exceptional grades, class president. I reformed the stale old school traditions. My exploits were even covered in local papers. I can't possibly be expected to know everything at all times. Yeah, I'm kind of impressed by that, honestly. He's doing it pretty well. Well, of your exceptional nature. Phoenix is pretty good at buffing this guy's ego. Vote for me as a vote to end such violence. That is my promise to you. Now this you could really hammer him with. You failed to stop this act of violence. So how could people have any faith in you? You couldn't stop one from happening right in front of you. And you didn't even identify it when it happened. Elite politicians such as myself never reveal their strategy. You really think I would divulge such sensitive information to the likes of you? You have some sort of platform you're running on. Nope. His only platform is his pedigree, his grandfather, and his history. Told by an idiot full of sound and fury signifying nothing good one. He saw Dad from under the tree. I don't doubt that. That must be true. I like how long this testimony got. It's like 7 statements, yeah. I like these longer ones. But you couldn't have not known he's dead because he's right in front of you. Objection! Rather than R-ball. Wasn't there something else you should have focused on? Focus on the nation's pulse. The witness saw him from this angle. He should have also seen the body. either he wasn't dead yet or it was moved there later. Body that clearly visible. It's unthinkable he wouldn't have seen it or reported it. Seems like Phoenix didn't actually see that. It's such an obvious one. Oh, now he's got a snoring animation. That's new. He hasn't done that yet. Stop calling him Wimperson. Just leave that out. Mr. Wimperson. Many sides to any issue. You didn't mention Karain for your whole life. That's what you deserve. That's why you deserve it. Acknowledge the inconsistency. Did you really see Mr. Arball? But that at least pokes a hole that he killed the victim. Maybe he wasn't dead yet. He said no and left. This is some small town debate. You get to stay right there until we're through. Your manager is Adrian Andrews? I would actually kind of like it if it was. He's always everybody's manager. Come clean. This will be one of those sneaky... He just didn't see the victim. That matter we discussed. Silence is no longer an option. Any strange rumors? Wait a second. Is it gonna turn out that he's actually the kid too? No, that wouldn't make any sense. The archaeologist kid. I don't know why I just thought that. No, that's stupid. That doesn't make any sense. You won't suffer any blowback. Nothing untoward will come out of this. Remember how it was an anonymous caller? Okay. They did say that, yeah. Not that we can believe anything they say, because now they tell us it's not an accident anymore. Whoever it was, it seems they wanted to remain anonymous. I guess, but then you should be less likely to believe them. Could just be a prank. It was this guy? It was him. But he just lied on the stand about it, so that's a perjury charge. So a politician just got a perjury charge, that should ruin your whole career. Played his part as concerned citizen quite admirably so. Admirably so. I don't know why I can't say that. Isn't that right? Too many who choose indifference over righteous action. I don't number among them. So did you go inside? That's my question. You take it one step too far. I guess I don't mind that, but... Someone else at the scene of the crime when he discovered the body. The kid? The son? No, he was already gone, wasn't he? That means what? Fleeing the scene of a heinous murder. Nice prosecution skills, buddy. Based on what we've heard, Arbol looked subjective. How so? You haven't described why. Did he have a weapon on him? No description of a weapon. We already know they threatened him with bodily harm. Or at least we know that he thought they did. Now that they've killed him, the so-called orb transfer is null and void. Even though you said it was null and void just by having that statement in there. Right? The fact that he was under duress. Pretty good deductions, Phoenix. I never doubted you. Well, you just have to prove someone else did it. You should prove it was Arbol who killed the doctor. And this is what the prosecution always does. You have to beat it like a dead horse to prove them guilty. But I don't have any. Another witness, the son. It was like the first time you get to call witnesses. Oh, he did call Lana in the Rise from the Ashes. Maybe a couple other ones, but typically you don't get to do that. Who else could it be? It would have to be the drone. It's just gonna be the drone. The sun won't even be there. Gonna be one of the most ridiculous witnesses. It's gonna be shooting machine gun bullets in court. Like the game's even admitting we've seen too much of that sodomy guy. We need Phoenix and Edgeworth for some real competition. In this case, we don't need any more of that sodomy guy. He already lost to literally everybody, one-on-one. Knew he would put up a tough fight. I mean, I never thought we had him. It's very Turnabout terror. Is that what they call him? I've never heard him called that. Hey, they've got me again. You couldn't just escape right now? Alley-oop. 3 times in 1 year. That's a new record. Or bad puns. This whole game is made of bad puns. Hard enough trying to help you as it is. Oh yeah, I'll just blame my bad performance whenever I have one on bad puns. Did you really pay a visit to Buff that night? I thought we already knew this. Or he was supposed to go the next day to get the orb. He wouldn't hand over the orb. Someone put it in his head that we were dangerous. Couldn't it be you by being rebels in the first place? He threw me out. He was still alive when Dad last saw him. This isn't a murder trial, so this shouldn't even matter. It's like we're proving a greater crime to prevent a lesser crime. Like Phoenix is trying to prove Dad's Arbol committed murder just to keep possession of an orb. It should be the other way, like you prove possession of the orb as part of a murder case. Now we have it backwards. We don't care about Dats, we only care about the orb. He'll have a separate trial some other time. Trucy? She'll probably help him, not that he needs help. Only if you lose, apparently. You might leave the agency. Really? That would be too easy. Or that'd be too simple. It's not that big of a deal, like, damn. So what if you lose one case to your boss? After everything he's done for you, you just leave like that? Is Trucy over there with him? I don't see her. Call the lone survivor of the murder. Must mean the son, Sarge. It's gonna be just the drone? Or is it actually gonna be him? How so? Only agreed to help if it meant catching the killer. Yeah, you need some of Athena's psychology skills for that, right? Is he really gonna say Dats did it, though? You'd think he wouldn't have any reason to lie, unless he did it. Just be the drone. Yeah, you got a reclusive kid to come out alright by not coming out at all. What's the range on that thing? Like, he's still in his room controlling it now? Just fire off your gun here. That'll be contempt of court. Trauma has rendered it impossible to venture into public. So that should disqualify him from being a witness. Or you should just take a written testimony. Or do a voice call. I guess is pretty much like a voice call. Leaving the witness lobby was just too much. So he is here. Continue via this drone. One's father and mother. Yeah, not as bad as testimony via parrot. God damn it, Judge. Gave up. Think I called you comrade. Shouldn't you get in contempt for that? Defending the man who killed Papa. Did you really see him do it? Just a little role play we did earlier. Nothing too serious, Athena. We can try it later if you want, you and me. Oh, but I forgot Apollo likes Trucy, not Athena. What happened that evening? Alright. Papa met with someone the night he died. I didn't have eyes on the ground, so I'd mounted my siege defense. I did hear him arguing with someone in his study. That could have been Dats. From my window, I saw the designated Dats getting ejected from the premises. But he didn't see the actual moment of the murder. The man lingered around at the perimeter, which contradicts the fact that he just ran away. Must have regrouped and killed my Papa later. That's a very vague testimony. So you didn't see anything, and even what you did see is saying he returned later, which isn't consistent with Paul Addison's testimony because he says he did it right then. He didn't come back, he just did it and ran away. Or are they saying that the time that Paul Addison saw was the second time when he came back? It's hard to say. Really must have been the fleeing Mr. Arball. I wonder what his objection would sound like. They should have made one. Probably kind of silly, like Knightley's. I didn't kill no one. Are they real missiles? How is this gonna work? I know it's for comic relief, but damn. Drones are a real thing. Capitalist pig, I'll turn you into pork stroganoff. Who says that rebel is capitalistic? Anti-swine weapon. No shit, it had missiles on there the whole time. This is a comic relief witness, but this is a pretty serious charge. Met with someone. It seems like a pretty weak testimony, though. He didn't actually see anything happen. He even says someone, arguing with someone. So that doesn't even have to be dads. He'll be on the phone. He didn't see it. He met with someone the night he died. Do you have any proof it was the supposed defendant, even though he's not a defendant? Do you have any proof it was the accused? Met with someone. How do you know it was that? Midst of a crucial defensive siege operation. How you don't leave your room. But couldn't you see with the drone, like right now? Never know where they might be lurking. Imagine having this whole siege defense idea, but when something bad actually happens, you're not there to see it. Isn't that the whole point, or prevent it? So he has this siege thing ready, except for when his own dad gets killed. You didn't stop that from happening, and you didn't even see it happen. So, or is it going to turn out he did see it, but he's too traumatized again to talk about it? It just seems so dumb. Like, he has this whole thing set up, and he can't even stop this from happening. So what good is it? School. How old is he? I still don't know. I don't go to boot camp. I'm a soldier. Rookie's too green to fight. Until he gets there. I guess he did actually come here. So they're never going to show us what he looks like, are they? Well, I didn't have eyes on the ground. Can you, yeah, what do you mean by siege defense? Who or what are you battling? Your own emotions. Guess we could use Athena here, it would make sense.
Objection!
If you're the right person. Be handled with certain delicacy. Why? What did he say? All talk and no action. Use Athena's stupid thing. A mood matrix. Number of bullets in your gun that counts. Easy for you to say. Apparently they're not real bullets. I did hear him arguing with someone in his study. Could you make out what they said, or could you describe the voice? Yeah. What was it about? Where's the orb? Are you Defiant Dragons really criminals? Like the name wasn't a dead giveaway? Sounds like a gang more so than a rebel group. Real volatile, like a war might break out any second. Had an argument when he came to get the orb. Did you see or hear anything else? And then silence. So he just ran out. You didn't hear the moment of death or impact. I saw the one designated dads ejected from the premises. So you could ask, was there any sign at this point that your father was dead? Because he just left. How is he acting? A conquered trooper retreating with his tail between his legs. It means he didn't kill anybody. He does dress like he used to be. Mr. Paratrooper. Bet those two would have hit it off if they had met under different circumstances. Good observation. The defeated soldier was expelled. That wasn't the end. After that, the man lingered around the perimeter for some time, which contradicts the last testimony, but I don't know how to bring that up. About how long and what was he doing? When you say linger... Yeah, nice question, Apollo. Look at this moronic... What was that? You not only don't ask a question, or a pathetic one at that, you literally just agree with something that hurts your case. He was hiding behind trees and telephone poles, stealing glances at our house. Seems like he would have done this before he came in. Couldn't leave without the orb. But I thought he came the next day to get the orb. Dirk didn't even know he was there that night. So it wasn't really part of the plan. He was angry he'd been kicked out. But then why even go along with it? He could have just killed him right then. Hiding behind trees and poles, stealing glances at our house. Why didn't you attack him with the drone? Must have regrouped and killed later. So did you witness that? And why would he come back? Why wouldn't he just do it then? You acknowledge that he wasn't dead at that point, at least? That's just pure speculation. Did you witness this happen? What is this based on? Don't you keep your front door unlocked? Anyone could have gotten in. And why do you keep it unlocked? And when do you... When did we find that out? I don't feel like that's been mentioned. Only good people in Korean Village. Well, there's Addison. He ended up dead anyway. Yeah, but there's nothing to show it was our ball. Swift and terrible vengeance. Carpet bomb the killer with everything in my arsenal. Wow. In a court of law. Bailiffs won't do nothing. Sometimes with you, you will refrain from firing yelling guns in the court. Sarge saw dads. It seems like a pretty weak testimony. He hung around after being thrown out. If he's proven to be the killer, we'll lose the orb. So we don't care that he's proven to be the killer. If we get the orb and he's still proven to be the killer, we don't even mind. See where our priorities are? They have to prove they had nothing to do with the murder. But according to Phoenix, it's null and void anyway, because he was under duress. He felt threatened. I don't really see any glaring contradictions. Nothing's obvious. He met someone. That seems okay. I didn't have eyes on the ground. That doesn't matter. Heard him arguing. That's fine. From my window. So where is your window? Let me look again. Wait, where is his room even? I don't even see it on here. Is it behind the... Is it behind the bookshelf? Like that door at the bottom? From my window. It could be this, I just don't know where he's supposed to be. This has nothing to do with that. I agree to hand over the orb to the dragons if I come to no harm. Equipped with a camera and a microphone. You should be able to watch it anywhere. Like, watch what happened, because You can just use this thing. Why do you have to look out the window yourself? Glasses, USB, flash drive, report filed a year ago, nothing to do with this. You didn't see the weapon. From my window, I saw Dad's getting ejected. So can we just show the diagram and see that he couldn't have seen it from his window? Like, I don't know where his window's supposed to be. It's not that window. Or maybe he is referring to house windows just in general. Like my window is in my house's window. But where is he? There's the staircase, there's the top floor. He must be on the top floor, but they don't make it very clear where he is. Coffee bar, that's not his room. On the bottom is where he does his work. I guess they've never made it clear where this guy's room is. Maybe I just missed it? Oh, it could be that, but let's check the other one. After that, the man lingered around for some time. I guess you can't disprove that except with the last testimony, which is apparently discounted now. He said he didn't linger, he just ran away. Saw Dad's fleeing. So we could present that just to say he was fleeing. That seems pretty strong. It directly contradicts it. Unless we're gonna throw that out now randomly. See, I'd be pissed if that's wrong. Let's regroup and kill them later. Which at least disproves it was the same occurrence. But it's a good theory that he came back later, but basically admitting he didn't kill him then. So you don't know what he did later. Let me try it. The window one might be a little too abstract. This one seems very clear. He saw him fleeing the scene. Come on, that makes so much sense. One witness says he was fleeing. One says he lingered. That's a direct contradiction. And it's the own plaintiff who said that. I guess I really lost then. So I'll have to reset. Fuck. Lost to a drone. Damn it. Well, we'll get our health back. It's probably almost time for a break anyway, so we get our health back, but... like a break in the court. Such a weird bad ending. Like, Phoenix really let that happen? I can't believe you would do that. Doesn't he care as much as you? No. Try again. We got full HP. It almost rewards you for failing. Why would you even need to save that? Just get full HP. So I think, does it count that we've already pressed everything, or would I have to do it again? Hear him arguing. I saw him getting ejected. We could certainly try the window again. No. Damn it. I am struggling a bit here, I don't know why. Yeah, Phoenix, we get it. You used to like to gamble when you were disbarred from being a lawyer. Even though you didn't make that much money as a lawyer, apparently. Okay, what do we got? He hit it. So it's not the window. Or wait, what did I just show? Did I show that or that? I don't even know, so I tried it again. Okay, so it's definitely not the window. Even though I don't know where his room is. I don't feel like they were very clear on that point. From my window, I saw him getting ejected. After that, he lingered. So this didn't work. Even though he says he saw him fleeing. Must have come back later and killed him. Is there some way that he couldn't have come back? He saw him fleeing the scene. Huh. Must be something more clear. Maybe just the fact that he was out hiding the... He was out hiding the orb that night. Or no, he had already done it, right? Or did he hide it after that? It could be this and just show that he hid it before his death. I feel like so many of these could have been arguments that you could have easily made. Ah, this is sad. I should be better. Come on. So it has to be one of those two statements, right? This one is useless. He met with someone fine. We don't argue with that. Dad's even said he went there. Didn't have eyes on the ground, doesn't matter. Well, it could be that he did have eyes on the ground because it has a camera. Really? I mean, there's so many different directions you can go. Fine, we'll try to survive on this one bar. This is what I don't like. All of those arguments made sense. How dare you question your superior officer? Get in on the Stroganoff action, you pig boy with pig boy. What does that mean, Stroganoff action? Lawyers are missile proof. You have eyes. He is able to see what's happening in court. He could have seen what was happening in his study. With the chairs drawn. I guess I thought he was looking out his window of his room with his own eyes instead of the drone. In front of our eyes, I see what you did there. Perfectly capable, but he could just say he wasn't. He must have seen something. Oh shit, damage animation. I'm hit. What's the strange new weaponry you're using? Because evidence is our weapon of choice. Because expose your bald-faced lie. Okay, dude. Taking the role-playing a bit too far. Truth bomb, no. Ah. That's all it took. Are we gonna get a final boss phase of this? Never have I seen such fearsome ordnance. So he did actually see it? Then why would you try to frame that? I understand if he doesn't want to talk about it. What do we think? I didn't see anything. Have to use the Athena thing? Come on, bring it forward. Mood matrix, let's switch places. Looks so small in that image. Isn't this contempt of court? This is what that's for. Torching day in Siberia before a private orders me around. Turn up the heat. Or use your bracelet. Oh, here we go. A lot of discord. Here we go. Wants to say something but can't. It's pretty severe. See, this is all Athena's gonna do. She doesn't help much with the actual legal advice, or she's not actually gonna do anything that way. She's waiting by for the mood matrix. And even that she relies on technology to do for her. Yep, even he knows that's all you're good for. Maybe enough to testify. The poor child. We still don't know how old he is. They keep calling him a child. His dad's 60, so he could be like 30. Why not? It's not like we all haven't been through this before. Ain't a place on the battlefield for you. Oh shit, sexist? Sexist drone? This G.I. Jane really did? Localizers? Don't do it to me. Analytical psychology. Could get Blackwell in here instead. Now, analytical psychology. Where are these WMDs coming from? Good one. It's a battle you want bringing on. Corpse woman sight. Sykes. Okay. That thing speaks very rarely. Alright. This was not very fun in case 4. I don't like it when it's just a degree thing. Where like one is slightly higher than the other, so you have to pick it. I like it when it's just the emotion itself you have to pick. Just go through them quickly so I can look at them without having to wait for it to scroll. Alright. I stayed in my room with my drone that evening. Isn't the whole point of the drone to see outside? So there's the window. Can we figure out where it is on this? I guess it's only the study. So no, we can't. Stayed in my room. So you were sad. Maybe you're always sad. I heard Dad and Papa arguing. Now he's actually saying who it was. You wouldn't have been able to say that before because you wouldn't even know what Dad sounded like. Now you do because he appeared in court and talked. But that in itself is a bit odd. Before he just said someone. So he's surprised, he's still sad. He got kicked out. But I saw him hanging around outside. I was in my room, so I didn't know he was dead until the next day. Even though the image shows him right above him looking at him. And then why were you so sad? I better save it just in case it does some BS. I don't think you even get penalized for these though. It's like they know how subjective it can be. But this would make sense. Why were you so sad if you didn't know he was dead? What? Emotional fluctuations. What? Wait, did I really click that one? Because it feels right. I didn't know he was dead, so why were you so sad? I'll do it again. What? Cool thing is we can just pick all of them then, because let's try to get it. We're not getting penalized. Stayed in my room with the drone. Maybe why were you sad alone in your room? No, okay. Why weren't you happy about doing that? This is fine. Or like, why weren't you sadder? Like, why were you so sad here? You didn't know he was dead. Maybe it's coming from the fact that you know he's dead now? It could be like, why aren't you sadder here? Or why aren't you angry there? I really don't know. I'm doing really badly. Why were you sadder here? No. Just click every single one. I just don't know which way it wants me to go with them. Why weren't you more surprised here? Okay, so they're supposed to be equal. You reacted with shock when you discovered the body, but you weren't nearly as shocked as when you saw our ball. Expect the death of your father to be more impactful. I guess. You're supposed to compare them. What could it mean? Because he's used to it because his mother died? Or maybe they weren't on as good terms? Why? You're scared of him. You'd already seen his body. Something else shocked you. Let's say you'd already seen it. He's lying about. Well, not that he left his room, but the drone did. Surely he wasn't just sitting in his room. What did you see? Nothing, just the wall of my room. We've lost some noise. What did you see? I don't think any of these will ever be as entertaining as the Phantom. Because he played around with it so willingly, like he could control his emotions however he wanted. That's what made it fun. Everyone else is a wimp. You're traumatized for the second time. I can understand that. What, did you forget that he lost his mother? You weren't very shocked. Because you had already sensed that he was a goner. What did you see? Gaga, gaga. What are you, a baby? Goo goo gaga. What the fuck are you doing? He's out of control. It's so overly dramatic, but I get it. He's gonna escape. Battlefield has no place for unauthorized equipment. Really? You haven't learned how to do it on your own? How come Blackwell never needs this shit? He can just do it. I guess he doesn't do the same exact thing, but... Yeah, because this is totally a part of court of law. He took his gavel too, now he can't do anything. I'm judge, jury, and executioner. This is what you call taking a role play way, way, way too far. What is that sound? It's the wings? Yeah, he agrees, way too far. Arrest the drone this instant. And the person in the lobby behind it. Stop resisting. Are we still gonna continue the therapy thing? Fire! Give widget back, eek. A little bit of comic relief, but... It said 70%, so I imagine we're gonna continue. You rely too much on your gadgets, that's what you should learn from this. 70%. All over the map. Or sometimes it goes up, too. Out of control motions are in control of him. Figure out the root cause. I'll do your double slap. I want to hear a few more double slaps before this game's over. My favorite part right there. Yeah. Seems like she's hypnotizing them. And now, let your emotions take you where they will. Oh shit, you seem angry there. Least relaxing breathing exercise I've ever seen. Especially when she yells at them. It's gonna be everything's going crazy. He was still hanging around after he got kicked out. Let me go through them. I don't like reading them slowly like this here. This is new. I left my room. A flame. Oh, another arsonist, or the same guy? Oh, so he was the one who killed the father? Or the mother, I mean. Yeah, the father killed the father. So he was the arsonist all along? Maybe he killed Apollo's father too? Is that what we're going for? He's hanging around. Okay. This looks the same too. I heard more fighting and got worried. So I left my room and suddenly... Oh, we have to point to the object here anyway. So it's not that's horrible. It's obviously the fire. Because you know he has phobia of fires. What's the word for that? Acrophobia? Pyrophobia, maybe? I got dizzy and passed out. Remember a flame lighting up the room. Papa was grinning with delight. That's when he must have been killed. Why was he grinning? That's kind of an odd detail. Was this blaze the best? That wasn't so hard, at least. Overcome shock and fear when you saw the flames. And your crazy father smiling, apparently. Was that? 6 months ago, your mother were caught in a blaze, and it was apparently your dad. Or am I jumping the gun on that? Just the fact he said he was grinning is very odd. Fear of fire caused you to withdraw from the world. You were bound to come across all sorts of fire. I don't know about that. This day is going on for a bit, so this will somehow lead to the real trial, which will be something much bigger, I think. At least we got into the murder part. I like how the murder is a smaller part of the orb. Like a larceny, a petty larceny charge, or maybe grand larceny, we don't know the exact value of it. But a grand larceny case has a murder as a lesser charge, somehow. I find that fascinating. In the outside world, you were bound to come across all sorts of fire. I don't know about that, but... You should play Little Inferno as his worst nightmare. Just the idea that you might see them grew bigger and bigger until you couldn't shut it out. Are we not going to mention the fact that your father was maniacally smiling over the flame? Is he the arsonist? That's all I can think about. And the chill down my spine, that smile sent a chill down my spine. I was afraid of the fire. Seems understandable. What was burning? Yeah, what was he burning? Some books. It was the orb, but it's still there. It's on fire, but it looks fine. Is this a fake? Or was he burning a fake one? Or what? There's no signs of it being on fire. Kind of fuzzy. The orb was burning right in front of Bob, and he was smiling evilly over it. For some reason, there in the flames was Mama? What? She appeared amid the dancing flames. That's just your trauma. What? I don't understand. Your mother is Ami Faye? I don't get this. I don't know how this is gonna happen. What's going on? The memory of the fire. Okay, it's just trauma. PTSD. Seems like he actually might have that. This time, it seems there's an inconsistency in his statements. Prove it with evidence. Prove that the relic is really the Founder's orb. Not sure I really see the connection yet. Let's see what the new statement is. You have to present something. But we will get penalized here. Grinning with delight. Relic was on fire and I saw her face inside. That's when he was killed. Why is this new? Oh, just the fact that he had the relic? Then it's weird that Dads didn't take the relic if he killed him. Right, he didn't have it. It was hidden away in the mountains. Relic was on fire. So is it Ami Faye that he's thinking of? Like he saw a woman. So the woman could be her image somehow? The Holy Mother returned. When you do something with fire, offer your prayers as fire. Is it that? Oh, come on. It makes sense. Because it says offer your prayers as fire and then she'll return. So he was offering his prayers as fire and then she came out and he thought that was his mother. That wouldn't have made sense. Going to put me on the spot. My confidence is waning. At least we get our life back. I can't. Failed to show their right to the item. But Dad's R-ball is free to go. Not guilty. All over theft. I wish you could go faster through this text. Will I have to restart the whole psychology thing, or will it just be... It seems like it starts at the same part. And it refills your life. I don't know why you would ever reset. So what's the inconsistency? That one made sense to me too. It's not really a contradiction, it's just a statement, like an explanation of what he was doing and why he was doing it. The peculiar thing of seeing the woman there could be explained. And that's like the final step of the riddle of how to solve the prayer. with the butterfly and the Mitama. Now you know that you have to set it on fire to release her spirit, maybe? That's what it looks like he's doing, at least. So the fact that he had the orb is impossible, because he hid it. It was hidden away, so that makes sense, too. Maybe I just did that on purpose to get my health back. If you hadn't passed out, the outcome would have been the same. The time of death. Your father wasn't killed after you left your room. Because if not, they would have taken the orb. You said you saw him burning the orb, which we're not going to touch. Like, why was he burning the orb? They just accept that as fact. Okay. That night he went out and hidden it in a cave, which means he was still alive. Got killed later. But it is consistent with him saying that that's Arbol left and came back later. Didn't he say that? I guess we'll just wipe that from the record. Something that happened before he left to hide the orb. So couldn't Phoenix come back and say, prove it was him who hid the orb? Then we can present the... Like, somebody else could have done it. The killer could have done it and then gotten it later. Like his rebel buddy, Dirk, got it later. We've never established in court that it was the victim who hid the orb. So he could ask us and then we could show the raincoat and stuff to prove that. That's where Phoenix should go. That somebody else could have hidden the orb. Outcome would have been the same. Was killed after he returned from the ruins. Objection? Come on, Phoenix, this is too easy. Thought he wasn't gonna pull his punches. Phoenix? I bear no blame. You could have fought off the attacker. Thought you're supposed to be the military man. Because the truth is, if I hadn't engaged in my defense, he would still be alive. How so? You wish nothing than for you to lead a happy, healthy life. Quit his job and moved us out, away from the city. Even then, I didn't have the courage to set foot into the outside world. In the end, I failed to make his wish come true. Okay, we kind of got that already. Why don't you do it now? Come up to the stand yourself. Question mark? Why was that question mark? It's not too late. We can always channel him with Maya, and you can talk to him then. Come into the court yourself. Imagine saying this to a drone. Only if you can decide to take the first step. Tell the truth. More role playing. Are you gonna have to use the bracelet too? Use the bracelet on the drone? Suspend my siege defense. She's quite literally a defense mechanism. But we didn't know he's in a wheelchair. Acro 2.0. He's really that young? Wait, it's a girl. I didn't see that coming. I guess the drone changes the voice, which we couldn't really gather. The gruff drill sergeant. And why is she so young? She was in the Russian army. We still can't see her age. I just don't get it. Was she adopted? Because if he's 64, when did he have her? Something just seems off. Certainly explained a few things when I found out. Army buff. Oh, nice name. I actually don't even mind that pun. Army buff. Archie and Army. Don't forget I could blow you up. How old is she? I don't know why I'm so curious about that. It just seems weird. 12. So when he was 52, he had a kid, which is reasonable, I guess. Doctor's child, self-styled sergeant. Her mother was ex-Russian military. Why is that important? That's going to come into play somehow. Have you always been in a wheelchair? Since I was injured in the fire. Well, that's unfortunate. So that fire is an unsolved case, I guess. Nobody knows who did it. I'm thinking the father did it now. Voice changer. Yeah, we get it. Yeah. As a player, there's no way to really know that. Because it's not like you can hear it. One of my army's many, what was it? Many novelties? 20-something military fanatic. We got one of those things right. I'd like to continue my testimony. It says crisp and clear as a trumpet roll call. So we'll find out the father killed the mother. It wasn't my mother who appeared. It was some lady she had shown me. Ami Faye herself. The Holy Mother, the founder of Koreanism, Miss Ami Faye. Which makes sense if you paid attention to the thing I presented. The Song of Ceremony. That was just a random text box. How will that show up in the backlog? Just a picture with no dialogue? Makes sense. Read the song. Why does that bother Phoenix so much? Because now it proves it's the orb. Thank you, game. Thank you. Finally something I can hang my hat on. Very nice. What do they have to do? Should have paid attention when I presented it earlier incorrectly. The burning orb, the appearance of the founder. This part's to... Yeah, we get it. The legend about the orb. I think we only saw this part during this case, too. Because they said the second half was hidden. Or something. This song contains the key. The legend is true. Offer your prayers as fire. The Holy Mother shall return. Huh. So he was trying to steal the spiritual power for himself? Set the orb on fire, apparently. The founder will appear if the orb is set on fire. So we have direct testimony that, well, it could still be the crystal of Ami Faye. He would just have to prove that the founder is Ami Faye, not the Holy Mother, or they're the same. That she's got an H on her hat. Like a helicopter landing spot? Is that what it's supposed to be? That's a great archaeologist. So he wanted to solve the riddle. Long time dream. Until we try it for ourselves. So just to be clear. So the first part is just like a statement. Dragon and tiger battle. She offers divine protection. The butterfly embraces the Mitama was how we opened the box in case 1. Even though it was empty, that was how we opened the box. The third one we just did. And then the fourth one, it tells you what happens, which is she gives her spiritual power. I want to see what he was searching for. The plaintiff must object to this. Objection. Why? That was a pretty weak objection. Phoenix is losing his composure. You don't have a right to set a precious relic on fire. Objection. I guess that's fair. Why? We don't know if it's the founder's orb or the crystal of Ami Faye. Any ownership rights now belong to his daughter. I guess? So why don't we just ask him, can we have it? Just give it to us. Or her, I mean. Still think it's the guy from the voice. You may burn the evidence. That's the new one. Has that ever been uttered in a real court of law? Oh, nice animation. It's gonna be Dahlia Hawthorne. Inside of the orb, it's melting. Something in there. Oh, it's just like a statue. Huh. But it's not actually a spirit. But she has a face, which is the stigma. You're not supposed to give her a face. It's the founder herself. It's the Holy Mother with a face. Here it is in the relic itself. So that custom must have come about later. Okay, I thought it'd be like a spiritual apparition or something. Issue is crystal clear. Good one. It's the Holy Mother, founder of Koreanism. I don't want to get to the end of this trial day, but this seems really long. It must be none other than the founder's orb. Arbal still may have killed the doctor, which would void the contract. Truth of the matter has already been proven. He wasn't killed after Sarge saw Arbal. It happened after he came back from hiding the orb. You have no proof. So are we going... We're kind of celebrating over the fact that the face was on there. That proves it's Ami Faye, I suppose? Well, wait. Well, it proves it's the Koreanese relic. Couldn't he come back and say because it has the face, it couldn't be anything but Ami Faye? Because they wouldn't put a face if it's from Korean. I guess that's what I would try to say. The Fine Dragons were behind the crime doesn't hold water. The orb transfer agreement is perfectly valid, except for the fact that he was under duress. Didn't Phoenix say that at the beginning? He's under duress, so it doesn't hold water. Because he says, if I don't come to harm, burn your whole case to the ground. Somewhat, but... Oh shit, he's freaking out. Trucy's not even with him. You need an advisor. Where's Maya? Did she stay back in Karain? You got no turnabouts, Mr. Right? Turnabout Phoenix. Rise from the ashes. I don't think he's acting. Don't celebrate too much. He's giving up. Don't celebrate too much. I'm not fully convinced myself. Like, let's try to be critical of this. Because it has a face and it applies to the song, couldn't you argue it wouldn't have a face? Because you're not supposed to depict the face. But this does have one. So that proves it's a crystal Ami Fae, not the orb. I feel like that would hold water in other contexts, but it seems like they just want you to win right now. The facts don't lie. Peasant. You're supposed to be sticking up for the peasants. It shouldn't be an insult to you. Good time to wrap up the trial. Okay, I guess the fact that the agreement was under duress doesn't matter. I don't think he's acting. I think he's really got nothing. Crystal is mine. Well, that's not a legal argument. He needs help from Inga. He's gonna say it now, isn't he? He's gonna admit. Oh, he has Maya kidnapped? Again, is that really what this is? He'll have Maya executed? I didn't even consider that. That's the only reason he'd defend his comeback like this. He's trying to stall because Maya's not safe. They haven't proven that the relic is indeed the Founder's Orb. Even you could bluff your way out of this one. I didn't even consider that at the beginning. I thought he was just being cheeky and trying to test us. What argument could you have that it's not the Founder's Orb? We have Phoenix on the ropes. That didn't last long. He always does, doesn't he? Defense's assertion is incomplete, and this is why. Basing the claim that this is the Founder's Orb on a legend. That the Founder will return when the riddle is solved at last. But it'll impart immense spiritual power, which it didn't do. Nobody here requires spiritual power that we know of. And that was kind of easy. All you had to do was put fire to it. Although, to be fair, you wouldn't think of that. You could just say, yes, case closed. Yes, I do. But he wouldn't lie. But then you're kind of throwing the whole legend under the bus, aren't you? Yeah, ooh, good one. Good one. What we saw here does not fully fulfill it. This still doesn't mean it's yours. It's still more likely than not, so why not err on the side of likelihood here? You don't have to prove it 100%. There's nothing to say it's the crystal of Ami Faye, aside from the face thing, which I already brought up. He's kind of grasping too much. Oh, nobody's impressed by that? So I just only recently realized that Maya might be kidnapped. That's why he's doing this again. Why couldn't he just sneakily tell us somehow? It wasn't that bad of a claim, was it? So he really was at the end of his rope. It wasn't that bad, but yeah, he really had nothing. This is the same guy who lost to sodomy in case 3. Trial day 1, not very impressive. So it's like the killer all over again. Where's Maya? That's the first thing you should ask. So Inga or somebody kidnapped Maya and made him do this for them. Because they were so impressed at his skills. Maybe. I don't think it was that crazy. It's not that big of a deal of all the things he said. Yeah, he's acting pretty well. That's why I didn't even consider it. Where's Maya? Why is nobody asking where Maya is? I guess none of them have ever seen Maya because she's been away the whole time? Or am I wrong about that? But I thought she was supposed to come back with him and become the master of Kurain Village. Did she pick up on something? Forgot to mention something. On the night of the murder, a strange thing happened. But that explains his maniacal smile, just the fact that he unlocked the secret finally. Which is pretty impressive, I guess. I thought the death was an accident. But you've known for a while that it wasn't. I figured it might be important. Finally, we can see the room. Is that it? EL? When I left my room... What? What is the S? Is that you? No, Sarge's room is to the left. I passed out right here. Why is it an S? Her name is... Army Buff. What is S? Oh, Sarge. It's confusing me. Someone was pushing my wheelchair. So they moved you? I beat a hasty retreat as fast as my wheels could take me. Who was it? Couldn't have been your dad. Couldn't even turn on the lights. No, he would have been dead by then. Wouldn't he? I guess he wasn't dead then? Could have been the killer? Or somebody else? I don't know, Dad's Arball? Why not? You must have assumed it was your dad, but then you said... You said it couldn't have been him immediately because he would have said something. So you knew it wasn't him. Make a statement. Why? Yeah, I don't see what that has to do with it. Good idea. She'd fled to her room when she realized someone had moved her. Oh, she'd been unconscious. The Phoenix did do what I said, which was come back as soon as possible. But he might have Maya hanging over his head. Did you find out? It shouldn't be that hard to tell now. I figured it out. Did she get past a note or something? Just tell him that Maya is kidnapped and you got a filibuster. That's the only way he'd be acting this way. And Edgeworth is going to come and save the day or something. So Athena seems like she found out what's up. But she didn't tell Apollo. Why does everyone have to be secretive about it? Why is everyone so shocked? He's made plenty of wild objections. Still believe the defense has yet to sufficiently prove its case. They claim that according to legend, it would bestow spiritual power. It has failed to do so. Failed its own test. It's not that crazy. Why is it that ridiculous? We've seen worse. It can't be awarded to the Defiant Dragons. They were the ones who killed Dr. Bob. We already kind of shot that theory down. No grounds for asserting that they murdered the doctor. Did he come up with something? He's just fully bluffing. New testimony. That's Arbol did in fact kill Dr. Boff. Who could it be this time? Is he gonna be the same guy again, Addison? What? He's just gonna make shit up. Alright, we know who you are. New information during the recess. Remembered something crucial to this case. Indeed. So he's just desperately trying to pin Dad's Arbol. It was around 11 at night. I was out on a mobile meet and greet. Which is why they're complaining about you screaming at night. It's not consensual. When I saw Buff being murdered from outside his study window, he snuck up from behind and struck him on the head. How could you forget this? His weapon was a suitcase. A big strong man like him could easily swing a heavy suitcase on someone's head. How could you not mention this before? Why would you not mention this? What? I mean, that's not really acceptable. It was a complete mystery. But his account has finally brought it into light. So can we test it? Can we get Emma to use luminol or something? It was a side of an object. Corner of an object. Very well be the corner of a suitcase. I guess? Objection! Why don't we test it? Isn't the same as hard evidence, so a lot of the time in the series they treat it like that. Why didn't he just tell us what's up with Maya? We haven't seen her at all in this case. We haven't even heard her mention. A luminol test revealed. Is Emma going along with this too? Couldn't we have done this before? I hate this bumbling of the detectives, dude. Emma's not as good as I thought. I take it back. She's useless. That should have been found out easily. Yeah, it doesn't prove he did it. It was his suitcase. Suitcase is covered in his fingerprints, but it's because it's his suitcase. He owns it. It doesn't mean... We acknowledge it's his suitcase. It doesn't mean he killed it. Or he used it to kill. I'm not that impressed. You're not gonna kill the witness's credibility for holding out on this before, though? That seems like a horrible, horrible thing to do. That's so dumb. You can just decide when to tell the most important facts of the case. What? Oh, is this final boss music? It sounds like it. Just get through them so I can go quick between them. Just tell us who your benefactor is, damn it. It was around 11 at night. I was out on a mobile meet and greet. Yeah, final boss. Even though it's not, but... Such a good theme. Might be one of the last times we hear it, unfortunately. Out on a mobile meet and greet. Do you often do them that late at night? He's just asking about the time. Perfect time because everyone is at home. Should have seen how their eyes teared up when they heard what I had to say. Probably for a different reason. You weren't riding around in your palanquin. Village idiot reported me to the police. Banned from using it after dark. They should just ban him from the town altogether. Dr. Buff being murdered from outside his study window. What was the contradiction we got before? The fact that he said he didn't see him, but you had to have been able to see him because of the window. Being murdered from outside his study window. You could ask, how exactly was he murdered? Like in what way? Just ask for more details. Rather shocking. Is that really a helpful statement right now? I didn't believe it at first. So much so that you decided there haven't been many murders. Well, there was one at least. The old Eeny Meeny fiasco. I guess that was a long time ago now. Will never happen again. Banish murder forever. Tell the court what you saw. Yeah, this really shouldn't be admissible after him testifying before. Arball snuck up from behind and struck him on the head. Because he'd ask, where exactly did it take place? We already know with what. Where exactly were they? Never even realized he was there. But that contradicts everything we've heard, that they were arguing by the kid. Do we have that statement? Realized someone had moved her. No, that's something different. Before, everyone said they were arguing. Absorbed in a book. He climbed up the bookshelf ladder and dumped a bunch of books down on the body, trying to make it look like an accident. That idiot didn't realize I could see everything from outside the window. This is good. I like how it lets you choose which one to add. Dad's is an idiot. Well, you couldn't see him climb the ladder. But I guess you could extrapolate what he was doing when he saw the books fall. I believe he was trying to make it look like an accident. You certainly couldn't see him climb up the ladder. I don't know if that's where we're trying to go. The crime was clearly visible. Never realized. What shows that they were arguing? Doctor was reading a book. This seems like a big one, but I don't quite get it. Let's try to figure this out. So Dad's fleeing. One of the books is stained with coffee. So he couldn't see him climb the ladder. I guess I could go on that. Nothing else here has to do with this right now. We could say the glasses were on the desk so he wasn't reading. They would be on his body if... Ooh. Oh, I misclicked. Fuck. I'm no idiot, you hear? Just did it for comic relief. Are you will you penalize me? Oh, at least you didn't penalize me. No, we want to go. Then he'll just say, oh yeah, after he killed him, he took off his glasses for some reason. That's actually a good use for the glasses as evidence. I like that. Is he gonna say it was a psychology book? Since it's the one that didn't fit. He was standing in front of the bookshelves, absorbed in a book. Well, how far in front of them? Because if he was directly in front, you wouldn't have been able to see it then either. Found on his desk. He couldn't read without them. You say, where exactly was he standing, or how far from the shelf was he? Could you tell what book it was? Did he have any coffee with him? Because you have to ask how the coffee got on there. Which of those is the best to ask? Like, could you tell what kind of book it was? Or how far from the shelf was he? And did nothing to stop it. Yeah, well, he's not very good at doing that anyway. Not a superhero. You could always report it. But there could be something in it for him. You said Arbol struck the doctor from behind while he was absorbed in a book. He must be able to see the faults. Weapon of choice, a suitcase. What could I push on here? Did you see the culprit walk off with it? Or you could say describe the suitcase. Can you describe what the suitcase looked like? And then what happened afterwards to it? Are you sure? So describe it. What did the stickers look like? I'm sure you couldn't give an exact representation of it. Mute. Oh god, this is so stupid. Inadmissible. Kingcraft. Saw Arbol commit that heinous crime. Big strong man like him could easily swing a heavy suitcase into someone's head. How do you even know he's strong? I guess you can see that he's big, but it's kind of subjective. You don't know if it was empty or full. Yes, was the suitcase open or closed at the time? Did it look heavy? What did he do afterwards? What did he do after he hit the victim? You don't have to give him that info. You can ask him, did it look heavy? You're so stupid, Apollo. That's why you ask, did it look? Or not even did it look heavy? How did it look? Like, ask him to describe it. And then he'll say something that might reveal it didn't look heavy or it did. I would have to agree it's heavy. But how did you know? A heavy suitcase. Didn't we get something like this in case 3? It must have been so heavy, the rock. How did he know it was the rock? It's kind of the same thing.
Objection!
Client witnessed the crime in progress. He saw him straining to lift what was obviously a heavy suitcase. Is he actually going to be the killer? I don't think he will be. He just knows it because he's in contact with the killer, maybe? And then he just admitted he was straining to lift it. Even though he said he could easily swing it. Straining and easy don't go together. But the contradiction is going to be the glasses, I would imagine. Let's push on that. You could not be, because the glasses would have been on him when he died.
Objection!
That's one of the first ones that we gotten cleanly. Standing in front of the shelves, absorbed in a book. Completely unreliable. And much too late. We've already done that, but I don't make it 0%. Eyes had gotten so bad he needed reading glasses. Those don't look like reading glasses. Those look like fashion or regular. Aren't reading glasses supposed to be a little thinner? Or like, I guess it doesn't matter. Over on his desk. Yeah, it makes sense. Now he'll just say, oh, the killer took them off and moved them. Explain this discrepancy to the voting public. Lowly cur. I made a mistake, you see. He's actually sitting at his desk. Oh yeah, just change the position. Even then, you could say he moved the body, but then he also took off the glasses. But then the doctor would have been facing him. He would have seen him and tried to run. He was nodding off. Eyes were closed and he wasn't moving, so he wasn't reading. Must be nice to be able to just change what you say whenever you want. Struck in the back of the head. Should be impossible from the front of the desk. He bowed his head when he nodded off. This judge. Why do I like the Kurone's judge more, even though he's biased? This guy's just a moron. You have a problem with it? I have like 50 problems with it, so let's see which one it lets me go after. Doesn't hold up under the smallest bit of scrutiny. Show what you have to justify this. Shows the problem with the claim that he saw him nodding off. The fact that he was drinking coffee. Which would be kind of dumb if it really said that. I mean... is that really what we're gonna have to do? That's kind of flimsy. How about just the other testimony that said they were arguing with each other? How can you be arguing and nodding off at the same time? This has nothing to do with that. Unidentified, that should be updated to suitcase, or supposedly suitcase. I guess we could show this and just say the coffee. He was drinking coffee. I even said it's weak, but he's passed out from my evidence. Lackadaisical attempt to refute him. So you're still asleep. Relative positions of the doctor and the witness again. He wouldn't have been able to see it. I feel like that would have been acceptable in another case. Like, sometimes they would go for that, but now they want me to do the position again. You wouldn't be able to see it. I guess you can't see the whole... I guess there's a shelf blocking it. It's kind of hard to tell unless I remembered exactly what it looked like. Viewed it from here. There's a bookshelf in front. Okay. I feel like we've used this window too many times, but... And it would have been very hard to hit him in the back. Why would you go out of your way to do that? Breakdown time?
Objection!
I knew the suitcase was the murder weapon. Definitely has first-hand knowledge of the crime scene. This is the red-white tactic, where you get him on the glass shards. He gave testimony from the point of view of the killer. Oh, so we're saying what he said is true, though? What about the arguing? I guess it was a different event. They really did argue. That's Arbol and the victim, but this happened later? Because he went out to hide the thing after that. Behind him, in the bookshelves. I guess we could say, like, right here. You gotta be kidding. This guy is a bit of a moron. He's like some kind of weird cross between Florent LaBelle and Red White, almost. And Wellington. All three mashed together. Are we really gonna pin him as the killer? He was most certainly in that room. Not that surprising. We do this every case. We accuse a witness of being the killer. I don't know if that's actually true, though. Even though you do this every case. Maybe he dropped the suitcase from above. Assuming it is actually the murder weapon. He must have dropped it. Somehow he got up above him and threw it down. Right? How would you do that, though? That's Arbol. I don't see how it proves that. No, it doesn't. Anybody could use a suitcase. His own technique. Couldn't swing the suitcase around. Have to consider another way. I like how quick Phoenix is. That's the one thing that I like about Phoenix and Edgeworth. A lot of the other characters have a lot of canned dialogue, like where it's making fun of you, Francisca calling you a fool, or Black Quill talking about something weird, off the cuff, sodomy, doing prayers. He's just very on point. That's what I like. Even as an adversary, he's just straight and to the point. Could have used it as a murder weapon instead. Turn it on its head just like you taught me. This is getting intense. I like it. Testimony has been filled with one inaccuracy after another. That he was in front of the bookshelves. Well, first he said he didn't even see the killing. Now he claims he was sitting at his desk. Where was the victim really? Where was his killer? And how was the murder weapon really used? It was thrown from the second floor. In a certain way. But did Apollo get it really that quickly? Without lifting a finger. Call the layout. But don't spell it out for me, let me choose. Second floor. Aw, come, you made it too obvious. Ah, you shouldn't have done that. When it would have been satisfying, you made it too obvious. And it explains the coffee somewhat, I suppose. Maybe he wasn't actually drinking it. Did he really do it? Recall the layout. Thinking in 2 dimensions, thinking 3. If only we could see that visually. Can you... Okay, there we go. Artist depiction. This was actually from Apollo Justice. This is how they showed it when Kristoff killed Shady Smith. With these kind of figures, didn't they? Didn't have to swing it, you just had to drop it. This is like an acro-inspired crime. Gravity to his advantage. Ooh, this is nice. Oh, that's why he moved the girl there, so that you wouldn't think of that. I think he put the girl right there, or maybe we'll get to that later, but... What exactly did she say? Realized someone had moved her while she was unconscious on the second floor. She fainted in the hallway above the coffee bar. Or maybe he moved her away from there. She was figuring things out or something, so they wouldn't think of that. Either way. He used the suitcase. That's pretty good. On to Buff, who was sitting at the coffee bar. That's how the coffee got spilled on it too, so he wasn't drinking it, it was just sitting there. Psychology book had been at the coffee bar. He set it down after he'd finished reading it or the like. He was dozing off. Blood got on it. Why the killer thought to hide it in the mountain of books. That's why it's so out of place. No evidence that took place at the coffee bar. The coffee itself. Just say there was coffee on the ship. But there's no other way you could get on there, right? Couldn't be an old coffee stain or something. I mean, I don't know if it really proves that, but I guess it's the primary place where coffee would be at the scene. Yeah. Still a bit damp. Okay, that's the more important fact. Speaks volumes. Like volumes in a book. Having a cup of coffee at the bar. Well, there's no sign of a cup there, though. That's why I didn't... I don't think there was when we saw it, but whatever. We'll give it to him. Was his blood and coffee to splatter? You'd think Phoenix would have a better time at this. He's really trying, whether he should be or not. He wanted the relic back. The final excuse corner killers are so fond of was my motive. He never returned your crystal, which he believed to be his. He hid it in the ruins, which hasn't really been shown in court, but nobody asks about that. Telling the dragons were a dangerous bunch was a blunder. All it did was make him hide the orb. Your lie came back to bite you in the end. Well, it might not be a lie. They are a rebel group. Doctors saw the news reports. He knew it was the Founder's orb. Being the conscientious researcher he was, he knew he had to return it to its rightful place. Some random cave. Or Karain. He was so angry that he refused. Is Edgeworth gonna save the day for Phoenix? Stall for more time. You killed him. Well, with a suitcase, but yeah. Own hands is like you choke him or something. Thank you for your applause. Just say Maya's kidnapped, dude. Come on, you could give better signals than this. This is so obvious now. You should be able to tell something's wrong. How obvious can you make it? Like, you're just saying it outright. This would be enough to just end the whole thing. It sounds enough like a threat to justify a mistrial or whatever. No, you idiot. You idiot. You should be able to tell now. Haven't you played Justice for All? It's literally a repeat of case 4. Like, literally, it's Maya again. Edgeworth? Just drag it out. Why couldn't she just tell us? Yeah. No, you should have. Good. Maya's unharmed. Can't really say. He has a stupid trolley in here too. If I'm arrested or fail to obtain the treasure, there will be consequences. Of the worst kind. You ain't no the killer. The killer would have never left any doubt, dude. Same exact thing over again. Your benefactor Inga. An old legend. The great power. There is no great power, dude. We just tried it. But none of you have actually met her, have you? She's been away. Legendary. Is she really legendary? For interrupting the proceedings and summoning Mia and stuff. In Karain? Yeah, good question. So dumb. Should have just told you himself. I guess he didn't have a chance to because he's being watched. I would have never guessed it, although it took me a while. His acting was pretty good. Oh, he's been through the exact same thing before. You're not as sharp as Edgeworth to get it and help him, though. Although he had to tell Edgeworth, too. You're in the middle of accusing the plaintiff of murdering Dr. Buff. But just to be fair, he beat Phoenix. Phoenix is trying his best, pulling all the punches, and Apollo beat him. That doesn't mean he's a better lawyer, it just means if the client is actually guilty, Apollo would win. Which means Edgeworth would easily win. Like in Justice for All context. Conflict of interest, you should have seen this at the beginning. Just declare a mistrial because he threatened the client, or I mean the lawyer. I'm too important to be accused of murder. Apparently so. Edgeworth? Where are you? President and then king. You probably shouldn't say that. There he is. I knew it. You don't get to retract anything. Wait, that was him? Why did I think that was Edgeworth? I guess I haven't heard his new objection in a while. I feel like it sounds kind of like that. Kind of weird. Like constipated. Yeah, it's kind of pathetic.
A dragon never yields.
Okay, we're gonna hear that a lot, I think. But he's winning. He's yielding in his own victory. He's not wounded. We get it. You like the dragon analogy. I get it. What should you do? Just drag it out. It's filibuster. Stall. What can he do besides drag it out? Summon Dad's Arball for his testimony. Just to stall for time. Oh shit, we're having one of these. Scumbag is holding... Well, he's not. His patron is probably for him. To ensure he gets the orb, he believes in the orb's legend. Founder did appear, but there was no power given. Let's say we haven't. Otherwise, power would have been bestowed. But I thought the victim thought he solved it, and he was even smiling about it. I haven't solved the whole riddle. So you're saying what Phoenix was saying before, that everyone called so ridiculous. Should be taken literally. How so? By channeling. Oh. So Maya would have to channel Ami Faye while using the... Which you don't know that much about. When did you even... I don't feel like you've ever really talked about it. Have to know what they look like. Oh shit. That's a good connection. So you would never have been able to do it without the orb. That's the only way you can see her face. And the name you would have to know is Ami Faye. Which you also aren't allowed to say in Korean, I guess. You're supposed to say Holy Mother. So that's why they kidnapped her 2 in 1. Just practice channeling. They kidnapped her to hold as hostage over Phoenix and to get the orb. And to also have her channel for them, probably. The final key to unlocking the secret. And he has one. He won't be able to lay a finger on Faye. Well, that's more reason to keep her hostage even after. So he won't release her, though. Can't afford... You're just saying it outright? I mean, the court would become aware of this, wouldn't they? Seems like the perfect person, dual purpose. Just have the queen do it. How do you know that? There's nobody else that can change. I love how we're doing this just in open court. Like the judge is just asleep. The gallery is asleep. Even Phoenix doesn't know that. The queen is said to be the best channeler. More literally. Terrain, birthplace of spirit mediums. Apparently. You need to know what they look like in order to channel them, therefore... Seems like those two things are tied together. They don't want people channeling. Hidden in the orb. Orb is telling us to try channeling the founder. And then you'll get power. And quite literally return. Then you'll be bestowed on someone. The person doing it. When pearls imbued my Magatama with spiritual power. If a human could be imbued with such power, it is said the founder possesses immense... Again, where's the judge? Where's the gallery? What are you people doing? They don't know what the hell anybody's talking about right now. Founder possesses immense power. Would not necessarily be beyond her. And the legend is true. Holding hostage the final key to unlocking the orb's secret. But we got the queen on our side, maybe? What if she's the benefactor? She can do it herself, apparently. And how Apollo would know this down to such a fine detail, I don't know. He's not a spirit channeling expert. Like, Phoenix should have come up with it first. And that's even more reason to continue to keep her a hostage. I guess this is where we're going with it, though. Kind of an odd way of doing it, and the court is... Aren't they bothered by the fact that a hostage is being taken? Pearl Faye. She would never do this for money. Well, take her hostage too, or take Phoenix hostage and make her do it. Go ask the queen. Oh shit. Don't give him ideas. What if she's the benefactor? Inga? Inga can just ask his wife to do it. How do you know this much of all? You were acting like you didn't know anything about spirit channeling. Are you executed for requesting such a thing? Now he'll laugh and say, oh yeah, my benefactor knows the queen, it's okay. My benefactor is the queen. Who the hell is the benefactor then? So the queen is off the table. At least they addressed that. Defend you isn't the only duty you have. So again, the judge doesn't care that the hostage is taken or anything. You'd think that'd be enough to stop the trial. So he really did kill him. So now, kind of like the Phantom, how I wish the Phantom would have ended. We take out the killer here, and then we find out who the benefactor is. Like who he's working for. So with the Phantom, I wish that after we took out the Phantom in Dual Destinies, we found out who hired him. Because they said some foreign government hired him, blah blah blah. I don't know if that'll tie into this somehow, I doubt it. Complicit in your hostage taking. I was being held hostage too. Yeah, Apollo's done a lot for him this game. He rescued Trucy in case 2 as well. Defended Trucy. Must resign. Show me your breakdown face. Case 3, we were robbed of a breakdown too. Give me one. Tell us who your damn benefactor is, bitch. Smash it with your head. You didn't really do it. Well, you can wait in a holding cell and have your own trial. Don't find a single print on it. You could have been wearing gloves or something. Or wiped them off. Switch things up. Nothing that points to it being dropped from above. It doesn't look damaged. If it pushed it from the second floor over the coffee bar, it'd be kind of hard to aim it. Place them right around here. I feel like her statement... Well, it's connected, but I don't know how that would explain it for sure. She was moved. I don't fully get it. She left her room, which she never does. That's when she saw the doctor burning the orb and passed out, right above the coffee bar. With her there in the wheelchair. Killer wouldn't have been able to drop the suitcase, so that's why he moved her. Could just toss it over her head. She woke up as someone was trying to move her up. Must have been in the way. It had to be moved. May have found his fingerprints on the wheelchair. That's why you just dust everything at the scene. As much as Emma always wants to dust everything with luminol, except when it really matters. Or I mean with the fingerprint set and with luminol. She's so passionate, but she doesn't do it when it really is necessary. If only he was able to hold on to it a little tighter. Couldn't he have wiped it off too? So his fingerprints are on the wheelchair, not the suitcase. He could have just chased her in there and still done it. I guess it would have made it obvious that it was him, though. Let's come back to hunt. This is why I like being able to present profiles and evidence at any time. Now it makes it too obvious who, you know. It should have let you choose between evidence and profiles there. Passed out. Someone was pushing her wheelchair. So she fled back into her room, and the killer didn't give chase. He didn't see anybody. Not until Athena drew her out. Killer was able to wipe the prints on the suitcase, but not the wheelchair. This is the same guy who used his initials and birthday in his email. Like a moron. Breakdown. Come on, make up for case 3. Give me a good one. Election results. Is he hallucinating? What's happening? He's just hallucinating? Arrested on murder charges and stripped of his weapon. Okay. He didn't even win anything. Let's just be clear about that. He wasn't stripped of a win. He didn't win to begin with. And then lock him up. First aid station in jail. And he doesn't give a shit about Maya, apparently. Relic is indeed the Founder's Orb. When can be considered a suspect. This court really doesn't care about threats very much, does it? Not the fact that he was threatening Maya, which is a major issue with the attorney-client thing. And also they don't care that the Defiant Dragons apparently threatened the victim for the orb, that agreement, where it says if I don't come to harm, if they don't harm me. They don't care about either of those. Alright, alright. Really, Dirk didn't do much. Because he helped you at the end. Oh, stop playing. It was cool the first time. We get it. Okay, okay. No, they shouldn't. Just listen to Mia Faye's quotes. We don't need the dragon analogy. And send him back to Karain for his execution. Cuff him. I mean, whatever. He's openly saying Defiant Dragons. He's saying his real name. He's wearing his garb. Like, dude, how obvious can it be? Whatever. Did the Kingdom of Karain claim ownership? Matter may have yet to be deliberated in court all over again. Yeah. So Edgeworth didn't make an appearance. Revolution and Maya. I'm guessing Phoenix doesn't know who took Maya. She just went missing. This could be a good place to end of the trial day. And then we'll figure out what happened to Maya next time.